The world is constantly evolving. One thing you can count on is that nothing is going to stay the same. To navigate the path or where we are going, sometimes we need to learn from the past. We need to unlearn in order to learn, to be better. Technology answers all the demands of today's fast-changing world. As technologies continue to grow, solutions have to be prepared to offer new answers. This calls for the need to build an entirely new brand and transformation. Passion, integrity, leadership, loyalty, agility, responsiveness. Through disruptions, we adapt, grow, improve, and excel, empowering and enriching our workforce to be future-ready, committed to driving Malaysia's talent development to greater heights. Now is our time to transform. HRD Corp. Transform to create a better tomorrow. We are HRD Corp.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, please give HRD Corp a big round of applause. Let's create the energy today.
How this session is going to go is we will run this as a campfire discussion where we'll be asking questions along with each panelist. And everyone will be sharing their stories and sharing their ideas on what they think the future of work, workplace, and workers will look like. But we will also like to take questions from the floor as well. Without further ado, I'm going to kick things off by asking Mr. Michael, what do you think the future will look like when it comes to work, workplace, and workers?
Fantastic. Thank you, Sarveen. And good morning again, my dear friends. Salam Sejahtera. I've actually prepared something very special for all our audience here today.
Sure.
And dengan izin ya semua, I would like to stand.
No problem.
And just to feel the energy in the room and just to share very passionately what our organization, Thriving Talents, what we have managed to learn from our many clients, from the MNCs to the GLCs to even the largest SMEs that is spread across 41 countries across the region around the world about the future of work. So dengan izin, I would like to invite all of you to please have a look at the screen as I prepared something really special for all of you. Now, my dear friends, you're going to notice that a few weeks ago, Mark Zuckerberg announced the Metaverse, right? Where the Metaverse is something where people say, is it a new destination? Is it a new destination that we'll be going for right here? Is everything going to go digital? When are we going to the Metaverse? But my dear friends, I wish to share a new thought with all of you. And that new thought is, what if the Metaverse, as popularized by Mark Zuckerberg right now, he coined the term, what if it's not a destination? What if it's a journey? Let me fill you in. For example, right now, the Metaverse is a journey where we are seeing more and more of our attention is now locked on the screen of our phones, it's locked on the screens of our laptop. Previously, for human beings, we used to be 99% feeling our environment, engaging with people physically around us. But now, looks like it has dropped to 80% with the emergence of the television. It dropped further to 50% with the emergence of the computer, and it has dropped even further to only 20 to 30% with the emergence of the smartphone. But what we are seeing is the metaverse is going to transform the way we live our life and the way we work, ladies and gentlemen. We're looking at meetings now being done via Zooms, MS Teams, or Cisco Webex. We're looking at employee engagement, team building activities now being done virtually or in a hybrid fashion. We are getting there. But what does this mean? The metaverse is not a destination, it's a journey. It's a journey where we all need to go through, and people, employees in your company will only resist that change if it happens drastically. What I believe though, in welcoming the metaverse for all of us here, we have to coach, we have to guide our employees. Employees are not afraid if the change is incremental. They're only afraid if the change is drastic. And my dear friends, having said that, I would like to quote one institution, the McKinsey Global Institute. They have done this research, and what we have found in Thriving Talents as well is they want employers, training providers, governments, NGOs, civil society to ask 3 questions as we reshape the future of work, the workplace, and workers. Number 1, what new approaches are needed in training now? Seeing that people are most likely going to go more online, people are going to work in hybrid modes. What new assurances can companies provide their employees? With jobs going obsolete right now, what can companies do to ensure their employees have perhaps unemployment insurance, the necessary reskilling, the reskilling to go into digital commerce, as an example? And lastly, what can employers, TPs, training providers, government and NGOs do to prepare people, our society, for the next normal? These are the 3 main questions. And as we step into the metaverse, it is a journey. We want to prepare our talents. I've also noticed that our talents, me having the opportunity to work with many millennials below the age of 40, developing future leaders for large and small and medium organizations, we realize they tend to be very conscious about how their participation is in our world today. And this brings me to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, where companies, training providers, government should be advocating, if not the SDGs, at least advocate the ESG, environment, social, and governance. As you could see from the stats that is being shown to all of you right now, ESG-driven funds in the US alone will hit US $40.5 trillion in the year 2025. Powerful, powerful. And one thing you would notice as well is we tend to see a lot of millennials are now wanting to choose to work with companies that are socially responsible, companies that show that they care for the environment, the way how they operate, that is accelerated through digitalization, companies who are keen to promote social employee engagement, really having a caring culture in companies, and lastly, governance. Companies who uphold integrity, fair practices in the way that they do. If you notice as well, by pursuing ESG, as we transform our employees, it also contributes to the bottom line of organizations as well, showing that organizations are more profitable when their employees know they are a responsive employer. My dear friends, in a nutshell, just to wrap up, my fellow panelists and also Sharvin, yeah? So what can we understand? There is nothing to fear about the metaverse or whatever keywords or buzzwords that is introduced by tycoons or anyone. It's a journey. It's a journey where we are getting there. It will happen. It has to happen. But what we can do as employers, governments, NGOs, and training providers is to be the coach to guide them towards it. To know that hybrid and metaverse work culture is here to stay. Coach and guide our employees to embrace it. To know we want to become a more ESG-centric employer, and then to work alongside machines and data. In fact, there was a study being done by New York State University, and they actually asked people, what is the top 3 skills needed to prepare people in the next normal? And if you are guessing coding skills, if you are guessing the latest programming languages, you will be wrong. In fact, what they found out is the number 1 skill, the skill to think. Not to look at problems as a barrier, but look at problems as a breakthrough for solutions to happen. Number 2, emotional resilience. To reprogram our mind to know that we are already leaving the world in the past. Leaving that behind, we are going into a truly digital world where most of our presence will be online, and that's fine. Work alongside machines. And lastly, the third thing they found out is teamwork skills. Teamwork skills in the sense getting men to work not only among themselves, but with machines. And to have that teamwork that drives trust, that drives results in the workplace. This is what I advocate right here as part of HRD Corp's forum. Don't fear the metaverse or whatever buzzword that comes after it. It's a destination. It is a journey to get to that destination. Guide your talents, embrace the change, and you will be there. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael.
Thanks,
You summarized it pretty well. Next we have, please, what do you think of how this will look like? Mr. Michael has given us a very overview in terms of what he thinks.